Today's feature is a guy I struggled to feature because of how much I favored him growing up. I loved his will to win, his work ethic, the way he seemed out of position but never out of touch, and most importantly, the passion he played with on the court. It always felt like you needed a teammate in your corner like him. Make or miss, he was there to pick his guys up and assure them he had their back. A guy that was one of the first point forwards I've seen in college that was successful in the position, but that may have been a gift and a curse. How this guy only managed to play 23 games in the NBA. Here's why. Julius Melvin Hodge, born November 18th, 1983. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Julius was born and raised in Harlem, New York. He began playing at the age of 5, and his older brother Steven would make sure he worked on his game from the day he told him he wanted to play in the NBA. The two spent hours working on his skill, bonding, and Steven reminding Julius that although he was good, there was still work to do. By his senior year at St. Raymond High School, he was a McDonald's All-American, New York State Mr. Basketball, and averaged 24 points, 5 assists, and 4 steals. Everyone expected him to stay close to home and select Syracuse as his college choice, but was shocked when he chose the NC State Wolfpack, a school I think was a great decision for him because it allowed him to become the face of the program since day one, and still to this day. It also allowed him to build a relationship with Coach Herb Sendek, which has given him opportunities even after basketball. Hodge stepped into the program and was an immediate impact as a freshman. He started every game and was second team All-ACC tournament. Stunt number 1, the cursed part of the gift. Like mentioned earlier, Hodge for the most part was the point guard in Sendek's system from his sophomore year on. They did have other ball handlers, but Julius had the ball in his hands so much that he was really the manager of the team and offense. While this is great in college and presents a mismatch for pretty much every opponent, it was setting Julius up to not develop the skills necessary for where he would play in the NBA, shooting guard or small forward. In other words, he was out of his natural position. Had he played more in those positions in college and give up handling it and making decisions so much, he would have picked up things like, maybe I need to get stronger so I can compete at a high level in the league, especially at the time when small forwards were well equipped physically at that level. Also things like a post game or working more on his jump shot, seeing as at 6'7", the shooting guard was definitely a possibility and very likely he'd play. In hindsight, shooting guard was the exact position he was drafted to play. In college, he would get away with it, but as we'd see later in the NBA, not so much. Stunt number 2, skills that translate. Besides being sort of out of position for the league, naturally Julius had some issues as well. Like the fact that he was tall in a sense, but right at that height where you'd need more to go with it on the next level. Let's begin with small forward. Hodge was very slow-footed with his game, something that worked for him at state but wouldn't in the high-paced NBA. He wasn't fit to beat all-world defenders off the dribble like he could guys majoring in biology or math. This all would be cool if he had one or two things, a jump shot and or handles. Tracy McGrady was another naturally slow-footed guy, Paul George as well. They aren't beating anyone in a foot race on the basketball floor. But two skills those guys had that Julius didn't was they both have deceptively great ball handling abilities and they both shoot lights out, a very crucial couple of skills Hodge didn't possess. The NBA three-point line is significantly further than in college, and not being able to shoot from there limits your chance at being slow but effective, which eventually happened. He went on to be a 4-year player for the Wolfpack and was everything short of winning a championship you could want from a collegiate athlete, including recording the first ever triple-double in Wolfpack history. He was once named ACC Player of the Week after leading the pack to back-to-back victories against Duke and North Carolina. Also on Dick Vitale's all Rolls-Royce team, an honor only bestowed upon the best of the best. During the 2005 NCAA tournament, Hodge hit a game-winning shot against UConn after Charlie Villanueva had tied the score, but he and his team were defeated in the very next game by Wisconsin. Stunt number 3, attitude hiccups. For the most part, Hodge was an outstanding role model while in college. His charisma and personality were two of the brightest aspects of watching the Wolfpack play, along with his passion. But Hodge picked the wrong time for his attitude to get the best of him. During the NBA workout process, he later admitted to tanking his workouts with certain teams that he didn't want drafting him. One of those teams were the Denver Nuggets, who he said he had his worst workout with because he didn't want to play for George Karl. Well, that thinking and attitude melted over into his pro career, and from that day on, he and George Karl had a terrible working relationship where the coach barely used his new first-round pick, to the tune of just 2 minutes a game as a rookie. I understand Hodge didn't have skills translatable to the NBA, but man, why draft him after he said he doesn't want to go there, then not give the guy a chance? It also hurt him because Carmelo was their starting small forward and superstar player, so Hodge had to play the two. The thing is, he couldn't shoot consistently enough or had any real moves outside of an offense to score. Had he given the Nuggets a better attitude and made himself available to do what the team needed more, who knows what could have happened, seeing as Carmelo would eventually leave Denver. Hodge played in 18 games over 2 seasons with the Nuggets and was traded to Milwaukee, where they saw the same deficiencies and waived him after 5 games. He averaged next to nothing in the NBA, and a lot had to do with how he approached his opportunities with his attitude. That attitude would show a few more times in his NBL career until he was done playing in 2013. All in all, many people forget how good Julius Hodge was and expected to be during college. He's still one of my favorite early 2000s college players, and I respect what he has done and continues to do for the game. He's currently climbing up the ranks as a coach and mentor for youth in his area and around the nation. But for these reasons, he didn't last in the NBA. Salute to him, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.